You have to type in Maven is do the Maven package, right?
That is for building.
That's the only that's to build it, Maven package.
Yeah, we didn't in Jenkins, we didn't use Maven package, but in the manual, the command for just to package is Maven package. There are other Maven commands that we are going to see by the time we begin to incorporate
Okay.
JFrog and SonarQube.
Okay.
There is Maven clean install. There is a Maven flag you package, all of that. Yeah.
Cool.
So the beauty of the class video is it might be sketchy during class. You might think, oh, okay, I'm following up until you now settle down and watch the class video. Then you unlock another level of understanding. Now, by the time you now do it, like you now practice what you thought you understood in the class video, you would consolidate on the understanding. Because at times it might look as though, oh, it's simple, we didn't do anything. And then it's your time to do it by yourself, and you're hitting the brick.
Correct.
So that's why class
that is
video is important.
that is very true. That is absolutely true.
Right, I think we are
Somebody,
four now.
you didn't come in when we were myself and Harry were battling this thing. I thought you make come in. You didn't come in at all. You're just watching us.
Yeah, so I was gonna say something about that. So I feel like you said, just to buttress your point again about family, you said something about you might think you understand it in class, or you might think that, oh, it's not a lot we're doing until you try to do
Yeah.
it on your own. So when I was trying to do it on my own, what happened was the pom.xml file, no, not the pom.xml file, the profile file, right?
Yes.
I was trying to create the variable, but where I put the variable was right before the FI, the previous FI. So it was in the
Oh,
wrong
okay.
spot. So it was in the wrong
Yeah.
spot that I put it. So that was
That's
making,
why that's why I asked you to show me a screenshot. You know, I responded because by what you put on the Discord, it was correct.
okay.
But
By what
where
I
you
put,
put it now is what you are
yes,
saying. That's why I
correct.
said,
Where I
show
put it was
me
the
a
problem.
screenshot. I'm not sure if my response delivered. I
I
responded to
did.
your Discord.
But I responded to it. You
But
responded to
did you
me,
put
and
the screenshot?
yes,
Oh, I'm just seeing
That was
it
playing.
now.
That was saying
yes,
we're waiting for you to respond. You know, so have to come
yeah,
in and
exactly. So Outford, it was Outford and I that were going back and forth. So where I put
Oh,
so where I put my exports, where I declared my Java variable
yeah.
was the wrong spot.
I just saw it now.
Yes,
It was supposed to be at the end of file.
at the end of the file, exactly.
Yes.
So, but
I
that was
think
it
we're
took
going
it
to
was
migrate to WhatsApp so that I can begin to get
yeah,
be
better.
be
Yes.
more involved, right? Yeah,
Maybe
yes.
that'll be
we'll have
fine.
WhatsApp. Maybe we'll add you there now.
Oh, you
Let's
guys
add you to
are?
our group.
Yes.
Yes,
We
now,
do.
please.
Should we add you to our okay, let's add you to our
Is
group. Okay.
everybody in this class in that group?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
In
that's fine.
fact,
Just
I think we have
Everybody.
somebody. We have Jumi now. Jumi is not with us anymore, but she's on the group.
no problem. Please add me up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Oh.
So at least
Because
I can always troubleshoot with you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I said to myself, I said if I don't get this result before this class, it will be difficult to follow. It will be difficult to follow up this class because my mind will still be on that one. I need to
Oh,
get that resolved.
now that's the one thing about hands-on courses. Once you're
Hmm.
stuck in a place, no matter how minor it might look like, you wouldn't know
Yeah,
it's a minor thing, but you just want to get with that
just get
and
it
move on.
taken care of. Yeah. But when I finally got it, I was like, wow.
I mean, you look at it, I told you it was just a dot. When we get to
Mm.
the dot, I'll show you. In production, it was just a dot that got me stuck. I was like, I've been working this DevOps street for how many years
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
How come
I,
I didn't thought it was something else.
That was one reason why I got terrified of going into full-time development because I did a little bit of development when I worked because before I left Nigeria, I used to work for a consulting company
Okay.
and I was on a project in Dangote and I was
Oh,
in the so they put me in the Obaakran office. They had like their network operations center in Obaakran.
Ogba.
So at Ogba, yes. So I was there.
Yeah.
Not Ogba. It's Ikeja, Obaakran. It's not too far from
HAP.
Computer Village. It's not
That's
far from
Ogba.
Computer Village. That's
I
Ogba. Okay.
worked in HAP. That's Guinness
Okay.
Obaakran. Mm.
Okay. So that place, yeah. So I worked there. So there was a guy that I knew there that his wife took his computer and broke it. Like this is a newly wedded couple. The
Ah,
wife broke his computer because he will wake
he
up in the
was
middle of the
stuck.
he will make up yeah, he was wake up in the
I've
middle
been
of the
looking
night
for bug.
and be looking for bug.
It's
Ah, the
not
wife
funny, I'm sorry, but for you, it can be like that. I mean, it's not funny. But you
it
be
was
like,
terrifying. It was terrifying.
there is stand-up meeting in
Yeah,
5 hours time, and
yeah,
your time is saying 4 a.m. You need to
yeah,
resolve this issue. You
yes.
now begin to in those days that there are not even smart IDEs like now.
Yeah,
IDE is able
like now, yes. Yeah, to detect your problem.
I mean to
Yeah.
guide you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no,
She she
that's
she
unfortunate
she
for the
broke
guy. Oh.
she, yeah, she broke his computer. She actually that was why he now left like development because it became like a family issue. So he left
Wow.
development and then he became more of an infrastructure guy because he said he couldn't continue being a developer. This was going to ruin his marriage. I mean, his wife was like, this doesn't even make any sense. Like, what do you are you just middle of the night? She won't see her husband by her side. The guy is on the computer working. What is this that serious? How much are
Yeah,
you
but the
making that
guy
you're
is
working so hard?
the guy is kind, sha. I mean, that's enough grounds for divorce for white
Uh,
people.
yeah, I know.
Um,
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
You're right.
yes. Oh, really?
Mm, yeah.
Mm-mm. Before you
Yeah.
know, you're
But that was a
able
conversation
to,
that was a conversation they were supposed to have before the marriage.
yes,
I
before
guess
the marriage.
they didn't have those serious conversations,
It's
unfortunately.
unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, you're married with this kind of IT job, just need to be, you need to be careful and be patient. Really.
Yeah,
I have someone
yeah.
that just joined the class right now that has that kind of experience. Mr. Jamal, you're welcome, Mr.
Guys,
Frank. He has a
Ah,
baby and he's also doing he's also doing some remote job, and it has
mm,
not been easy. I mean,
wow.
but then man got to do what man got to do, you know.
Mr. Jamal, nice to meet you. We have never met you. We haven't met you before.
yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
transit. Yeah,
he's
I said I'm in
just
transit. You will
he's just joining us. He's in UK.
Okay.
Yeah, he, he has uh he has passed the level where we are, but he's trying to uh continue with us. So at least for as a refresher for him, he will be in class and
Femi,
then yeah.
would you believe I'm in Port Harcourt?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I told you I was going to be around. I arrived yesterday
Oh
and
wow.
I
No
got
worries.
down to yeah.
We'll talk
So
about that after the class. Welcome.
yeah, so let me leave you guys. I'm going.
It's all right. It's all right. Oh wow. Another globetrotter like me. All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome. Let's get on board. Okay, I'm just gonna share my screen. So before we start, do we have anyone here who thus far is unclear as to what we are doing in DevOps? Or you are clear to an extent, you need clarification uh, at some point? Please come clean now and let's put things in order. You know, the idea of the bootcamp is as we progress, your understanding is being enhanced, okay? So that you build on what you already know, right? Imagine if there are some of us in class who doesn't have sufficient knowledge of cloud administration. Now that we are spinning servers as though we are opening water tap. I mean, that would be your own first confusion level. Like, what are these guys doing? What is AWS? What's that? You know? So it is strategic that we started from Linux and then we graduated into AWS and then we moved into IAC, right? And now we are looking at DevOps. Okay. But it's also important that now that we are in DevOps, we should understand what we are doing in DevOps. It is not enough throwing commands here and there. No, that's not how I want us to work. Okay, you should understand why you are using this command at this point. So in case you need to do some tweaking yourself, you will know where to do the tweaking. And that's also the reason why I decided to be taking us through how to do some of these things manually and then how to automate it. So in case you fall into uh, trouble because you understand how it works manually, the automation troubleshooting will not be a problem. And I should assure you, on this part, you will face, okay, so the Holy Book says tribulation. Me, I won't call it tribulation. You will face troubleshooting. You will, I mean, let it be that you've done something 10 times. You will wake up one day and then AWS will tell you we no longer support that version of server. Boom. And then you just realize that all that you know is obsolete. You now begin to relearn. Right. Before AWS allows us to launch Ubuntu 20.04, right? And by May this year, AWS says they're no longer supporting Ubuntu 20.04 on a free tier. And I'm not even sure if it's still available on a paid tier, that it must now be Ubuntu 22.04, then Ubuntu 24.04. All right. So what that means is there are some commands that work seamlessly with Ubuntu 20.04, and it is not working with Ubuntu 22.04. You now tell your organization that, see, oh, the one I know, they've taken it away. Oh, what's going to happen? No, that's when you now begin to find way to what? To readjust. The same thing AWS is saying by 2025, they will no longer support Amazon Linux 2. That it will now be Amazon Linux 2023. So they won't decommission it, but you will not get support for it. So it means that whatever happens, the support you will get will not be directly from the owner because they have discontinued it from their own end. It will not be from third party, which may work and may not work. What that also means is there will now be vulnerabilities because they no longer support that version. So hackers and all of that, if they see you're still using it, they can now build a higher whatever that can suppress the security that is available on that. You know. So on this part, I should tell us it is your understanding that matters. You can get command anywhere. But if you know this is the next thing I want to do, this is how I want to get it done. If you get to Stack Overflow, you get commands that you need. You don't have to commands. You don't have to. All right, so I want to share my console and also my Temios.
I wanted to ask a question before.
Please go ahead while I'm sharing my screen. So.
Okay. So I did a little of practice on Git. So I created a conflict so I can resolve it, but there's no GUI coming up for me to select and resolve it. I don't know whether
There's
I need
no
to
what?
install that. There's no GUI. That is a graphical user interface for me to make correction to select a conflict I want and edit it for merging, committing it.
On your GitHub, you mean?
Not GitHub, Git, just Git. I did a conflict
GUI
in
for
my
your
Git when I was
Git.
there.
Is
Yes.
it
I
on?
created a conflict myself. So
Okay.
I still, so for me to say that I can work on it, but
How you
I
can
couldn't.
resolve it?
Yes.
What was the error problem?
Wasn't an error. You just coming up and it will display for me to select the kind of select which do I want. Then to delete the previous one, messages on all to add to it.
Oh, okay. So after
What I
the
would do?
class today,
Yes.
let's look
I'll
at it
create. Yes.
together.
I'll create. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you get your system ready after we've learned what we need to learn today. I'll make you a co-host and then we'll look at it together. Is that okay?
Okay. That's fine.
All right. Any other question?
Are you continuing with the server that you used last week?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So continuation.
I wanted
What I've
I
been
wanted to know
changing
if I should
since.
spin up. Okay.
Sure, we're still going to spin up another server, but let's do a quick review. All right.
Okay.
So at some point, we got a nudge from the development team that they are done with coding and they have pushed everything to the remote repo. Okay. And our collaboration platform is GitHub. Okay. So they give us access to uh, the master branch of our remote repo. So now, as DevOps at our own workstation, we initialized it in a directory. Okay. Then we cloned the repo into our directory. Okay. And then we also added that repo as the origin to our local Git. Okay. Now I have skipped what we did to fortify our workstation. Part of that is we put a password on every user if there are more than one users. Of course, in class we had just one user, but I'm speaking as though we are in production environment now. Let's say there are more than one user because I told you Linux on AWS is always on run level 5. And I think that's how it is on other cloud platform as well. They allow you multiple users and have access to both GUI and CLI interface. Okay, so passworded every user and then we authenticated password. So why did we do that? Should anybody compromise our server's public IP address and the private key file, whoever does that will not be able to sign in into our server as any of the user. Why? If you need to sign in, or sorry, if you need to SSH, SSH means secure shell. That means if you need to remotely access our workstation server as any of the user on that workstation server, even when you have public IP address, the private key file, and the name of the user of any and the list of all the users, and you choose to pick any of the user on that list, you will still need to provide the password of that user. Okay. And each user created his or her own password. So what that means is if one of us has divulged the credentials of our server, the person who has it will still be unable to access the server as any of the user. Why? Because you must provide password of that user. Now, if they are now able to sign in as you do not have any defense because how did your user password get into the person? Even if you say it is not you, there's no proof it is you. So that's part of what we did to fortify the server. And then we know that the tools we're going to be using at our workstation server requires Java environment. Okay, so we installed Java 11 and then we defined variables. We declared for the workstation server if any service needs to use Java on this system, this is where to go and get Java. All right. So after we've done that, we installed Git and then we brought in we cloned the remote repo. We looked at it, everything is good. Next thing we wanted to do is where our job really starts, we need to package all the line of codes into an executable file. Since we were informed that it is a Java app, we realized that Maven can build applications that's been written in Java and many other languages, just as I showed you. So we installed Maven. We also defined the variable for Maven as well. And then we used Maven to package our server. I told us about a file, form.xml file, which contain many plugins that Maven uses to package, to build web applications. Our first build was successful. We did it manually. And then I showed us a target folder that was created inside the web app folder of our project, of our local Git project, right? And then I showed us the executable file, which is a .war file, web app.war file, and that's the file we're going to deploy. Okay. After we've done that manually, we now said, okay, the principle of DevOps is that it must be automated and it must be repeatable. So far, it is the automation part that we are doing. And how do we do that is we now have to bring in Jenkins, a continuous integration tool on our workstation server. Okay, so we installed Jenkins. We saw the installation bash script from Jenkins site jenkins.io, and then we followed how it was there, and we installed Jenkins on our workstation server. We connected to Jenkins from the GUI using the uh, public IP address of the workstation server on port 8080. Prior to that, we do not have port 8080 opened on the firewall of our workstation server. By firewall, I mean security group. So we have to go and open port 8080 before we are able to reach our Jenkins on the public IP address of our server. When we did that successfully, we logged in and then we installed 3 or more plugins. We also defined variable, and then we created our first simple project. The project is to build a simple web application. Okay. When we brought in the free project, we said it's going to be sourcing from GitHub. So we provided the URL to our remote repo on GitHub. And then we set up our Maven target. And then we used the keyword test install and we built. Now, this was what we said Jenkins would do at that level. Because you have told Jenkins, this is the remote repo. Whenever you ask Jenkins to build the source code, the raw code on the remote repo, our source code is from GitHub, okay? Whenever we ask Jenkins to go build that raw code, Jenkins will first make a local copy of all that we have on our remote repo. It will make a local copy of all of that in its own user home directory. Okay, so saying that therefore means that on our workstation server at the back end, there's a directory for Jenkins, which I showed us, root var library Jenkins. It also means that there is also a user on workstation server, which is also called Jenkins. Now, I'm not sure if we did it, but the standard thing we should have done is We ought to have created password for Jenkins user as well. Did we do that? Okay, even
No,
if
we
we
did do
didn't do
that.
that, we'll
No,
go and
we didn't
confirm.
do that. No.
Okay, so because we now have a user that is Jenkins as well, we create password for Jenkins user. But I showed us the Jenkins user home, and I also showed us our project, the works within inside the workspace directory inside Jenkins. Okay. So now that we have built, what we ought to do next is to send this artifact, or in fact, yeah, send the artifact to the testers. Okay, so they can run it through their own tools like Selenium, like JUnit, to be sure that everything is good, right? But this boot camp exclude that because testing, development, these are really broad disciplines on their own. Okay? So we are not focusing on that, but we'll do something that is similar when we get into DevOps too with SonarCube. SonarCube is a static code evaluation tool. So we are moving on to staging. What is staging now? That's where our class today starts from. With staging, we are going to deploy the artifacts in-house. In-house means that within the team, no outsider have access to it. It is not yet in production. We really want to see how the app is doing. Is it doing all that we intend for it to do? Okay. And by the time we stage, we'll do a sudo deployment to multiple servers just to see how the app will behave on different environments. Okay, so to stage, we're going to be using another server. Our staging can also be on the pipeline called the QA. Okay, you know, we want to see if all that we've been doing is making sense. DevOps incorporates agile methodology. Okay, you don't wait till the end of the whole entire project before you begin to do UAT, and then realizes that you've committed a blunder all along. Okay, so uh, let's quickly put password on Jenkins. Let me switch user to Jenkins. I want to be sure if truly there's no password. Okay, that's true. So let's password Jenkins. The command to password Jenkins is sudo password, the name of the user. I hope you remember. Okay. Good. And then so I can now say su. I think my hand is faster than my brain this evening. Su Jenkins. Okay. Right. Good. So we say cd. CD takes us to user home. Right. If I run print working directory, you see the user home of Jenkins, var library Jenkins. And if I list, okay, so LL is an alias. And I hope you are told that there are some Unix environment that does not recognize alias. So if LL does not work, what's the actual command that LL is an alias to?
ls flag
Anybody?
flag L.
Thank you, sir. LS flag L. And then if we see the into workspace, we're going to see our project. Sorry, it's flag L. project Angela. If you see is Mr. Angela in class yet? Let's flag L. Right, C. This is the local copy of our remote repo. Okay. If you see the into web app, okay, that's something I need to show us. Let's flag it. Okay, cd into target. Okay, let me stop here. Let me duplicate this session. Cd into project. No. This project.
Question. So why does LL work on that user and then it's not working on the Jenkins user? Is the command on is it on a user base? Is it in the context of the user or it's in the context of the device of the machine?
I think it's in the context of the user this time around. Yeah. So you will notice that where the Jenkins user is not the same as where the other users are.
Yeah, it's
Right.
in
So
lib, yes.
yeah. So the environment of Jenkins does not allow it.
Okay.
LL cd into here. LL cd into web app. LL. Gentlemen, the target here and the target here, are they the same? This is Jenkins target. This is our local Git target. Do you think I'll find the same thing inside?
No, we will not.
Why?
Because during the build process from Jenkins got the artifacts directly from the Git from the remote repo and not from the local repo.
I think they're the same.
Excellent. They
They're
are
not
not
the
the
same.
same. Excellent.
Okay.
I mean, I am happy that we are getting this. This target here, this is our local Git, right? This target here is as a result of the manual build that we did here.
Yes.
The target in Jenkins, even though both targets are on the same server but different directory, this target is as a result of Jenkins build. So it is possible that I make many changes or many modifications on this local Git and build. All right. And okay, hold on. On this local Git, it is possible I branch out, I check out into a new branch, make modifications, stage and commit those modifications, and build. And I choose not to push that change or modification to the remote repo. And I go ahead and I still build on the remote repo. I hope you know that that change does not make it to the target in our Jenkins.
Correct. Yes.
It's not
Why?
your comment, sir.
Sir?
Yes, because
It's not your comment. Since you have explained this now,
okay.
the context of the fact that the
Okay,
context of the fact that
now.
no, the context of the fact that you build the same artifact here and there, I was thinking it will be the same. But if I make changes here, and build here, it'll be different now.
Yes. Good. So I just tried to consolidate on what I said to us in our last class. Okay. That your Jenkins, the file you are seeing here does not source from your local Git. Rather, it sources from the remote repo.
Yeah.
So whatever you do within your local Git, if it doesn't get pushed to the remote repo, it remains here. In fact, if it does not get pushed to the remote repo and it is not on the branch that the Jenkins is building, it can be funny, right? It can
Yeah.
also be that it gets to the remote repo, but on a different branch
Yeah.
from the one you ask Jenkins. I showed you last class that you can build a different branch on that same remote repo. All right, so let's move on. Now, what we want to do is we return to exit, city, exit. We're back to our Ubuntu. We now want to stage. So we need a staging server. So let's come here. What we can do at first will probably be this server has Java. This server has all of that. It has Git. We don't need the Git. It also have Jenkins. We don't need the Jenkins. So what do you think we can do?
Just create a new EC2 instance and install Java on it. I would have said we can duplicate the server, but we have more things that we need on the server. So I think the easiest thing would be to just spin up a
Create a
new
new
server
server.
and install Java on it.
When they create an AMI.
Good. I mean, that's more like what I want to hear. So what if we don't have too much, or let's say we actually have too much on it, but we also have more of what we need? If it's just Java that we need, then no problem. What if we need other things that are already here? Okay,
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
creating an AMI, yes, an image.
Beautiful. Take the AMI and then use the image to launch a new
Spin up a
server.
new one. Yeah.
I'm glad that your AWS game is strong. So let's go launch instance. I will not fail to say it over and over. I don't want to leave anybody behind. If all we are saying is sounding somehow to
Sorry, I
anybody in
have a
class.
question now.
All right, please go ahead, sir.
Something is sounding somehow, so let me just call you to
Better.
assist me.
Please.
Yeah. So, the AMI stuff that you just mentioned, now I'm not sure I really understand it because, no, my own AWS game is not really that strong like that. So, is there a way you can just uh, explain that part to me, please?
Why explain when we can take the tour?
He said if if you want to like basically where I understand what you just said now is if you want to reference a server on another server like you just use the AMI, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, no reference. Build entirely. Look at this our workstation server, right? We
Yeah.
have some things installed on it. Now we need a new
Okay.
server, which is going to be
Okay.
our QA server, our staging server.
Okay.
On that QA server, we are going to need Jenkins. Sorry,
Okay.
Java. We're going to need Java. We don't need Jenkins on that server. Okay. But this
Okay.
server here, we already have Java. So we are saying
Okay.
that assuming what we need on that new server is about 5 things. And let's say we have
Okay.
those 5 things here in this server that is already running. We have two options:
Okay.
to spin up a fresh server and begin to install and configure those 5 things. Let's say you took us
But
like,
those 5 things, sorry,
go
those
ahead.
5 things already exist here.
Yes.
But you want to now spin up another server and you now start installing those 5 things again.
Beautiful. So we are saying if those 5 things are already here and
Okay.
it took us a while to set up those 5 things, instead of going
Okay.
through that long route, we just take the image, check it this way, drop down actions, image and templates, create image. Okay. So we'll take the
Okay.
image of this server, which will first create a snapshot and use this snapshot
Okay.
to create an image. We will now use that
Okay.
image to launch a new server.
Oh, okay.
So by the time we launch a new server with that image, all the 5 things will now be on the new server already configured as it is on this server.
The on this server. That's what I mean by
Yes.
reference. Like you want to just like reference some of those things that are on this server on the new server. That's what I mean. Okay,
So,
yeah, I think I get
I
it now.
mean,
Thank
what
you.
I understand by reference means that if the main thing you're referencing is gone, you're referencing to is also gone. You remember how
So
you referencing?
are you saying, yeah, chill. Are you saying if this one is gone now, as long as you have that AMI,
Yes.
those things are not gone?
No, the other server is outrightly independent of this
This one. Yeah.
old server.
I know, but the AMI
So
was generated from this
uh
server.
that server is outrightly independent of that AMI as long as you successfully launched the server. If you terminate the AMI, the server will still be there because the new server now has its own AMI that is independent of whatever AMI you have used to launch it.
And the new server will still have those 5 things.
Everything.
Oh, man, that's brilliant, though.
You dey wind the WS.
That's brilliant.
Is
Yeah,
it
I
possible
think
we just simulate this afterwards
That's
into
why I
the
said let's take a detour. Let's quickly do it. I
if
mean,
we
in
can
less than
just
10
simulate them
minutes.
afterwards,
So
then
on
we
this
delete
server
them.
now, so why we didn't want to do it initially is because we have more than what we need on this server. We have Jenkins, we have Maven, we have Git. We don't need those in the new server. We just need Java.
Maybe.
Because of this explanation, let's quickly take a detour and do it. So this workstation server now, we drop down options, select create image.
you say you do a snapshot.
So this process will take the snapshot. I just try to
Oh,
explain what this process will do for you. Okay.
okay, okay.
So let's
I thought it was
say,
an isolated process.
no, it's not. So more DevOps, AMI. Okay. For class demo, reboot instance. This is our root volume problem. Let's just, as simple as that, we are creating the image. So when you're creating the image of in running server, like I said, it will take the snapshot. Now, when you don't
Okay.
take a snapshot of a running server, it will temporarily stop the server. And you're going to see it on this SSH session now that at some points you will notice that it is trying to reconnect. That's the point where it has temporarily stopped server. I'll give you the analogy. Not minding the sophisticated cameras that we now have these days. In those days, if you take a person snapshot, if the person is running, you can't get a clear picture of that person. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
What you have is blurry. But
Glory.
when the person is still, whether they call it still picture, they call the other moving picture. When the person is still, you are able to
Okay, so
capture that person's properties. You see, at this point, it has stopped the server. Okay, but you don't need to do anything. I'm just trying to explain what happens at the back end to you because knowledge of these things guides you when you see some things happening, right? And also guides you on the job. If you're an SRE, it guides you on when to put, because this taking image of a server is a routine task in the sense that it might be something that you're expected to be doing every month or before a major installation. Why? In case after the installation, things go south, everybody will turn to you as the cloud admin. Where is your restoration point? Now, restoration point is your AMI. Just say, guys, hold on. Pick the AMI that you created before that major installation. Use it to launch a new server and get your production server back up. But if you don't have it, that's when you will remember, you will really know who loves you within the company or not. So it is either a routine task or you do it before major. So you are informed that they are bringing in a database consultant to come and do some special configuration on the server and all of that before the consultant sets to work on your company's production server. Take the image and snap it of the server. So capture everything on that server just before it, in case things go south. Okay. Other companies, they do it monthly for their critical servers, and they keep the retention for 2 months. So it means that at every month they are having 3 snapshots, the one of the current month and the one of the past 2 months, which they can use to revert back, right? So
Okay.
let's go to AMI here now. Can we open it in a new tab? Did you guys do AMI in AWS?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
So where were you when they were doing it, sir? Or you didn't practice?
It was not extensively discussed. So it was something that we created. It was a one-time thing. So it's possible that Pelumi missed it.
Oh, okay.
I missed it, and it's not like possible. I missed it.
All
I,
right.
I
So look
was
at our.
I was not like I've not really finished the AWS class.
Oh, all right, sir. So can you see the AMI here now?
Okay.
So let's pick this now,
Yeah.
and let's say launch. Look at it. Instance from AMI. So let's call it mobile. It's not gonna be workstation. It's going to be mobile staging
So,
slash
I'm
QA.
sorry, I have a question, please.
Right, sir.
Yeah, if I understand clearly what you are referring to, what you are referring to here, you first started with use launching creating the image of an existing instance, an
Yes,
existing EC2 instance, if all what you needed is in that instance and possibly and more, or if it's exactly, you could
that's
use the
correct.
image to launch the instance. And while talking about that, we also were referring to the AMI there. I think I'm a bit confused now when you're also talking about taking um,
The
the
image is the
server
AMI.
snapshot. Okay, the image is the AMI.
Yes, Amazon machine image.
Okay. So whenever you create the image, it goes into that AMI console, right?
Yes, see it here. This
Okay.
if you come to AMI here,
Mm-hmm.
you will see all the AMIs you have. Not only that, the ones that are shared with you as well. Okay, there's a lot of this should not be the class
So
where I'm
does
taking
this
to
refers does this also refer
Well,
refers to the backup you are referring to?
yes, yes. If you go and read about AMI snapshot, it's helping you to do a backup for your what? For your server.
Okay.
So this AMI now, right? Not only backup, if we are in the same company, I'm the country chair for Africa, you're the country chair for North America. And then let's say something happens that your own servers are always giving you trouble every time you do global meeting. Okay. And all right, the guys in Africa are doing excellently well. Why don't you guys collect their image and use it to launch? Okay. So if we're working on the same if we are running our servers from the same AWS account, I can copy this AMI, okay, to wherever region you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can just say, as I check it, I'll say copy AMI,
AMI. Okay.
okay, and copy it to your own region. So you go
Okay.
to that region, okay, and we see it there in your region, okay, or if it is a different AWS account entirely, okay, I can click on permissions, and you will send me the 10 digits of your own account, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say add account ID,
Mm.
and I'll put your 10 digits
Okay.
here, and I'll share it with you,
Okay.
okay? So when you go
Mm.
to the same region on your own AWS
Account.
account,
Mm-hmm.
what you will just do is you come down
You
to
see
look
there.
at owned by me. You
Okay.
drop down, you will see private images that I shared
Okay.
with you. You will find it there. Okay, so that's another function of the AM. There's a lot of things it can do for you, right?
So
But in
So
this
are you
case,
saying
one more thing on this AMI. Um, are they are the services free or are they heavily charged?
no, you will be charged for AMI, but it is ridiculously cheap.
It is what?
Cheap.
It's
It
because
is not,
okay.
yeah, it is not costly. No. Okay.
is EMI the only way to back up your server?
If you're talking about the okay, so what is actually the server? Apart from the storage now, what is the server, if not the
No.
instance, the operating system?
Yeah, like like basically the machine, like your machine
Yes,
on the cloud. Is it
your
only
AMI
EMI that you can
is,
use?
yes, you can go and do, there is AWS backup. Look at it here.
Okay.
Do you see this? You can do backup here, but one that is really sure is you can take the
Is EMI.
AMI. Yes. So when you create AMI, like I said, it takes snapshots. Look at, if I come to snapshots here now.
Mm.
So I can
Including the
terminate,
applications running on the instance.
yeah, so I can actually deregister the AMI and I keep the snapshot. So with this snapshot, I can create a new AMI and everything will still be inside. It's just like the DNA. Are you with
Okay.
me?
Can't you save the disk and kind of like attach it to another like EC2 instance?
No, this is not an instance. This is an AMI to launch an instance.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is an image snapshot from where you can create an AMI. You can also take snapshot of volume attached to your instance. But let's not go into all of that. I mean, those are AWS
Yeah.
classes. Okay, so see, we now want to launch our staging slash QA server. Okay. At AMI, you see that we are not using the generic AMI.
My AMI.
See the one we are using, the one we created. You see this? If you are unsure where to see it, if you come to my AMIs, you will see the AMIs that you have created yourself. In this region, don't create an AMI in North Virginia and switch to London region and be looking for it when you have not copied it from North Virginia to London. I mean, you might think it is that it should be common sense now until you get into it, especially when you are working with Terraform. I have an AMI in London region, and then on Terraform, I was trying to provision infrastructures in what's this? Ohio,
Why?
US East 2, I think so. Because the AMI number is spread everything on the Visual Studio Code, it won't detect it as an error. It is not an error. Technically, whatever, it is not. But that AMI is not what correct. To you, the numbers are correct because you copied the right, look at it, AMI ID. You be like, this is correct. But Terraform will tell you, I don't know this AMI, until you realize that on Terraform, you ask Terraform to go and provision something in Ohio, and you are giving it an AMI of another region. You are there 2 hours. You've not known out. So please, it looks common sense should tell us now, but when you run into the problem, you will not be able to tell people. But for me, I like to share all my flaws and my wins anyway. So let's move on. Okay, let's put it on T2.
So
T2
for all those other
India.
services that we don't need,
We'll delete them. We'll terminate them when we
okay,
launch it.
that's what I wanted to ask. That's what I
Mm.
wanted to ask, that can we
And we
delete them?
can, yeah, we delete them. Yeah. Select security group. Maybe, okay, so I need to edit this. This is going to be inside our JTT VPC. It's also going to be a public subnet. This one is in what 2A, so let's go keep this one in 2B. I do not understand. I need to go and update my Zoom. Every time I ask it to hide something, automatically not show me. Okay. So let's keep this one in public subnet to see. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, security group, JTT. And that's all.
Question, please.
Right.
So, are we going to do anything related to networking as far as the actual DevOps practice or DevOps module of this course? The reason I ask is because I'm also spinning up servers, but I'm not doing it on AWS. I'm spinning up servers using an infrastructure provisioning tool called Vagrant, and I'm spinning up
Okay.
I'm spinning up virtual machines on VirtualBox.
Okay.
So far it's been working, but I think that the where I potentially would have issues is if we now start doing things related to VPCs and networking and stuff like that. I'll probably have issues there because I might not be able to follow along in the class. So is that something we're eventually going to get to? So I know to start
It
switching
will be a big
to
problem for
AWS.
you, but I advise you not to run from it. It will to
Okay.
push you to learn. Yeah, because on AWS, we would do we will make our servers communicate. Because now,
Okay.
at some point, the workstation server will have to communicate with the staging server that we just launched. Okay. So in
Okay.
your own case as well, you will find a way of how to make them communicate. But it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
easy.
yeah. I
If
should be able
they
to
are able
do
to
that.
access the internet, you can access
Okay.
it. So just follow the same
Mhm.
process we're doing in class. And if you have any challenge, you can bring it up. And then when we are done learning in class, we can now look into it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to just derail the class too much because if you're doing AWS and I'm not doing my and I'm not provisioning my infrastructure on AWS, it's kind of like I'm not following really. So I really don't have a right to be asking questions. So okay.
All right, so let's copy this guy. Every other property are the same except this. So I'm gonna come here and I'll say staging server, and then I'll change this. Okay. But for some reason, I know that the key has changed. Okay. Ubuntu, and it's going to be more London. That's it. Save, and then let's connect. And I close this session, and I'll continue. All right, so if I list, this is a new server. This that we automatically have these two here. We've not done anything on this new server, but we have these two folders. Where are they from? from the AMI that we used. Are we together? So we say remove flag ref. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you see that this guy is here now. Also, if I say systemctl Jenkins status Jenkins, can you see? I didn't install Jenkins here, but you see that Jenkins is available on a staging server. How did it get here?
Amen.
Because it was the image of a previous server you
Beautiful,
you created
beautiful.
here.
Okay, so if I also run git hyphen version, you see we have git java hyphen version, we have java maven hyphen version. We have all of that. Okay. If I say vi dot profile, you see, we have Jvim, we have map. So the person that wanted us to take the detour, is it clear now? Okay, so I'll delete
Yeah,
Maven.
it's clear.
What we need is just oh. So I'm just going to delete all of this as well. Okay, and then we run right click bank. So let's remove them. We can't do anything about Git, or we can choose to remove it, but let's sudo apt remove Jenkins flag y. Okay, so Jenkins is out. What else? Maven sudo apt remove Maven flag y. What else? Let's leave Git. So if I see the
If we put RM to work a bit,
RM, no, it is not a directory, it's an installation.
okay.
Yes. So we also remove this. So this is where we can use RM. So we say
Okay.
RM flag
Okay.
rf this permission needed. So we say sudo. Okay. Valid is no longer there. And we check password file to see if Jenkins user is there. Is still there. So what do we do? Sudo userdel Jenkins. Is that correct? Then we run Jenkins password. Jenkins is no longer there. But if we cd into root var library Jenkins, let's go confirm if that file is still there. Of course, you just need to stop. The directory is still there. Do you see? So we go out by one step, we list, and then we'll say sudo rm rf Jenkins so that we can remove all installation folders. So if
I
I
think
say
I think it was a
list,
great I think it was a great idea that you took the opportunity to kind of teach or remind us or refresh us on AMIs, but I feel like it would have been easier to just create a new EC2
Of course,
instance.
yeah. I just need to show that person, you know. So when you're practicing, just create a new instance. When you really need AMI, you will see it when we need I think when we need a deployment server. Yeah. So we're good to go. CD. Okay. Now we need to install Tomcat on this server. Tomcat is the web application service that helps you to deploy your web apps. Okay. You know, if you need to deploy your web pages on, say, a website, then you need a web server tool, isn't it? Tell me some web server tools. Apache tool, right?
Nginx.
HTTP, engines, okay?
Nginx,
It
yeah.
will to be Windows, IIS, okay? Now, because they are web apps, sorry, they are web servers or websites, their tool is different. But if what you have built is an application, not a website, then you need tools that can help you deploy the application. Basically, what they do is they provide the environment for you to deploy your artifact. And one of such is Apache Tomcat. Okay. So let's come to Google and let's look at Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat. Since I'm talking about releases. Open source implementation of all of this. Okay. Tomcat 10. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for where you can read about Apache Tomcat. This is the same page. Just give me a moment. I'm going to use Apache Tomcat 10. Catalina underscore this. Okay, I think I will allow you to read it up on the repo. So Lady Anna's a bit been under the weather. So I think that's why she hasn't been able to give you guys access. But we are trying to see how we can expedite that so you guys can have.
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear you.
We're trying to see how we can quickly give you access to the documentation repo where you can read about these tools.
Okay.
Okay, I think I will send you my own when you add me to your WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So if we wanted to install Apache Tomcat 10, Once you get to the home page of Apache Tomcat, click on 10, Tomcat 10, the same way we did for, what's it called? Maven. Okay. Remember for Maven, we used zip, right? This time
Yes.
now, let's use star.gz because we've seen how to unzip. Now let's see how to work star.gz. So we copy the link address. On our staging server, please don't make any mistake about it.
Sorry, where did you say you said Tom 10.1?
Tomcat 10.
10, yeah, 10.1. Okay. I'm looking for the download link. Yes.
So you right click here and say copy link address.
I don't see the download on my page. Am I in the wrong place?
Okay. Are you from Google?
Yes, I'm on Google right now.
Okay, click on Apache Tomcat from Google. Click on
Yeah,
the link that says tomcat.apache.org.
correct.
Okay. Are you seeing this page?
Yes.
Then look at download Tomcat 10.
Yes, don't like, okay. Okay.
All right. So
And
you
then you went to
copy
the star.gz. Okay.
add.gz copy link address. Now we cd into root opt. Don't forget that's where we want to put it. And then we say sudo we get that. Then we bring it in. Okay, so if I list, I have it. Next thing is to extract it. So we say sudo flag xvf. That's the command to extract variables and the file. Okay? The name. Now we have extracted. The other time it was a zipped file. So what did we do was to unzip.
Unzip.
So this time we have the extracted file. We can now sudo rm. We can remove this add.gz. We no longer need it. Let's clear screen. Okay, so we change the ownership to Ubuntu. Okay, so we say sudo change ownership flag capital R,
Arrow.
the user,
Ubuntu. Yeah.
and then the group.
And the
Okay,
paths.
the name of the file.
Yeah.
If we list, we've changed the ownership. So next thing we do is we cd into the file. For Apache, you don't need to install. Okay, and then we run print working directory. So we copy this absolute path. Next thing we do is what? We vi, you go to your user home and then vi the dot profile. I like that you are following. So we come here, say export. Now, Tomcat have two names, Catalina underscore home. No, please. Paste that. And Catalina underscore base. Okay. Then you come.
So what's the difference between the home and the base? And if I'm just a novice trying to install Tomcat,
Yes.
how will I know? Is there a documentation that tells you that you will use this Catalina home or Catalina base in installing Tomcat?
Yes, sir. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Do you see documentation in that download?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see for 10.1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see setup? How to install
Okay.
and run Apache on different platforms?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Catalina is. Do you see that?
Okay.
All right.
So what is the difference between the base and the home?
I would take it as the different keywords for any tool that wants to use Tomcat we look for.
Where is the base? I can still the home. The base is done, eh?
You said
The base is it done? I'm still the home. Calendar home here.
this is Windows. Let me look for, okay, this is Unix. Catalina base
Okay, okay.
because Catalina home.
Oh,
Now
okay.
this is smart.
Very
These
poor,
people are saying that wherever you see Catalina base, also refer to what? Catalina home, right? Which is smart. So if I say A equals to B, and I say B is equals to 5, that also means A is equals to 5. But here we decide to make it open. So yes, I'll put Catalina here, and then I also put Catalina here. This is going to be this. Okay, so when you're done, you run right quit bank. It should be in lowercase. Save. And then you come and run source.profile. So we now have our Tomcat here. Tomcat uses port 8080.
Sorry, when you run this source.profile, what does it do after changing the content of the vi.profile? I mean the content of the .profile file.
I explained this severally when we did
Yes.
this. So it
What?
activates the changes you've done in that
Okay.
.profile.
Okay.
Instead of you having to restart the server, source.profile says that anything you're sourcing from. Okay. It also guides you if you make nasty mistakes inside source.profile to tell you some things are not correct.
So if you do exec.profile, will it work?
Yes. So exec.profile actually means that execute what we have in .profile. Okay. So yeah, it's similar. Okay. So can we return back? Opt. Okay. Let's list. So you see this web apps folder. See the web apps. This is where we are going to keep our artifacts before we can be able to reach our web application. But don't forget, where is our artifact, guys? Anybody knows where our artifact is?
It's in the
Still on the
target. It's
on
in
the
the target file folder
Of
directory
which server?
of our
Can you see my
the
terminals?
server we use for the Maven installation.
No,
Can
I
you see
think on
my
the
Can you see
local
my terminals?
on the local reposition.
Yes, but on which
On the
server? Can
staging
you see
server.
my good? No, not staging server.
It's not saving
Supposed to
server.
be it's supposed to be on the working server, like the workstation itself.
Can you see my terminals?
Yes.
How many servers are you seeing currently in my terminals?
Two.
I mean,
Two.
two. We're seeing more one workstation and more two staging.
So these are servers. So this is where you have our what?
The artifacts. The artifacts.
But that's what we said. We said it's in the target directory of the working
You told me the directory, sir. I could have that directory inside staging too. That's why I asked which server, so that you understand.
Workstation server.
Because I've had trainings in the past that went ahead and began to launch everything on one server. I was like, I didn't know. I said, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't explicit, right? So let me make it clear now. Okay. So yeah, we now have to find a way to get, uh, let's see the first, let me remove confusion here. Let me remove this project. Okay. Yeah. See the git, see the 74 list, see the web, see the target list. You now need to find a way of copying this artifact from here to this place.
Okay.
So which
Okay. No.
service of Linux does that for us? Which Linux command does that for you?
Secure copy, right?
Thank you, sir. Secure copy. Right? So before you can secure copy from a server to another, you must have established SSH connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in Linux, there are two ways you SSH. You can SSH using a key file, or you establish a permanent SSH. If the SSH is just a one-off thing, okay, you can decide to use the private key file. But if you're going to be automating things, then it is smart that you establish what? A permanent SSH. Now, when you are SSHing, know that it is user to user, not server to server. What I mean is, a user on a server be able to SSH to and not to a user on the other server. So if you understand that, then you also know that your permission is limited when you SSH into the other server. Is that okay? Okay. So I'm tempted to ask if you understand the two SSH, but I won't ask so that you don't get to digress. Okay, if you do not understand, please find your way to the Linux videos and learn the two methods. But we will do one now, which is to establish a permanent SSH. So the first thing we do from the workstation server, because we want to SSH from the workstation into the staging. First thing you do is to generate a what? A new key pair. So we say SSH keygen. Please pay attention. Now this your keygen. Ensure it is saved in where you will not need root to access it. And this is good. If I had used sudo with this command, sudo ssh keygen, then you will be seeing that you will not see this user home of Ubuntu. What you will see is root. Let me cancel and let's do it. Sudo keygen. Can you see? It's about to save this key pair inside where? Root. Now, if you want to use it in outside in other places like Jenkins, you will not be able to because this is root. Because no sand cloud admin will give root access to a third-party application. Do you agree with that? And that's why on Linux is allowance of elevated users. Okay. So we return back to here, sudo keygen. So this is where it's going to save it, and I'm comfortable. So I'll just tap enter, right? Tap enter again and tap enter. And now it has generated a key pair, RSA key pair. This RSA is the name of three guys. Okay. If you like literature, you might want to Google is what is RSA key pair. The three of them established this protocol of securely creating connection between two Linux servers. Okay. So where is this key pair saved? If I list now, look at .ssh folder. So you that you're using virtual machine, ordinary list, you may not see .ssh because this is an hidden folder. So you might need to run ll flag a. Are you with me? Are you with me,
Let me,
class?
Yeah.
yes.
No, I can't wait for you to do it. This is class. You do it on your own. Okay. So you cd into .ssh and then our list. And look at the key pair we just created. ID underscore RSA and ID underscore RSA.public. You know, it's a pair, the public file and the private file. Okay. When you launch AWS for the first time and you create a key pair, AWS allows you to download the private key file. You remember? Do you remember? AWS allows you to
Yes.
download the
Yes.
private key file and
Yes.
save the what? Public key file. And anytime you want to SSH, you use the private what? Key file. Okay. So, did we finish this or go for a break? What do we do? Now that we've downloaded the private key file, we've generated the key pair. What we need to do is to what? Send the public key file to the destination server. If we get to destination server, then we will establish a permanent connection. What that means is workstation, this staging server, which is our destination server, now knows the workstation server as a what? A known host. Okay. Now this is the command. SSH copy ID Are you with me?
Yeah.
Not seeing it.
Okay, clear. SSH copy ID. Sorry.
Copy.
I'm sorry, sir. Okay. To where? The user on that server at the IP address of that server. Public IP address of your what?
So
Of the destination server. But this command no longer work. Or let's go put.
Check that please.
Let's try this. Or maybe they started allowing it to work. Yes. Can you see? Public key denied. On Ubuntu 20.04, what it will do after this place is to ask you for the password of the user that you are trying to connect to on the destination server. But I'll be honest with you guys, I've just been a lazy brat. It will still work. I know there's one or two tweaking that Linux has done on Ubuntu 2022, and I can trace it. If I go into root, etc, and I list on one of these files here, where is hosts? And it has to be with one of these files. Okay. But I've not had the time to dig into it. However, the command is to help us copy the public IP from our originating server to a folder on the destination server called known host. Let me clear screen and show you. If I cd into .ssh and I list, look at, sorry, authorized keys rather. So if I vi authorized keys, look at this key file. This is the key file of this is the public key file of the one that you used to SSH into the server at first. Look at it. We'll under keep here. So what this command is supposed to do is to copy the public key file that we just generated of the pair just generated and come and put it here. If your two servers are Amazon Linux 2 or Amazon Linux 2023, it will work. If your two servers are Ubuntu 20, it will work. But for a reason, it has not worked on Ubuntu 22. And I just said it, I've just been lazy. But now that I've said it, I'll find a way and get it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll do a manual copy. Did you get that? We just say cd into .ssh list. We'll say vi id underscore this dot this. Then I'll just copy this guy. I'll come here. Then I'll insert and I'll paste. It's as simple as that. Once I'm done, I'll save, right click, bang. Where did I paste it? Look at it, authorized keys. Where's authorized keys in that inside .ssh? Where is .ssh inside the user home of this user? Okay, so if I've done that, I can now return here and establish the SSH connection. But I don't want to lose our attention. Let's come back from break, 10 minutes. We will come and now use the simple command, SSH, that command. Where is this? Yeah, this is the command. So once we establish they can SSH this, we can now go ahead and run secure copy. So let's take 10 minutes for ergonomics.
Why don't we just run it quickly and see if it connects?
When we come back from break, we'll do it quickly. Can you see my screen? Okay, so SSH Ubuntu at that. And that's it. Can you see this? The person that wants us to test it, can you see this? So this is straightforward. But remember that the staging server we created our staging server using the AMI from workstation server. And while on workstation server, we created password for Ubuntu and authenticated the password. What that means is the same password is available here and it is also authenticated here. So in reproduction, you're supposed to change the password of the user here. And if that is what happens, by the time you run this command, SSH Ubuntu at this, it will ask you for the password of the staging server. When you enter it, the user on your staging server, when you enter the password, then you gain this access. So now we are in our staging server. How do I know? Look at the private IP address of the workstation server here. You see it has changed. This is the private IP address of the staging server. If I list, you see that I'm not seeing anything like Git here. In this server, if I run Maven version, is not here because I removed it. In fact, let me cd into opt. I will see my Apache. Of course, we installed Apache inside our staging server. So this confirms that what we've done is successful. So what do I do? Let's exit. Let's close that connection and return back to our staging server. Our workstation server. Now that we are back in our workstation server, we cd into the file that we want to copy.
Okay.
Look at the file here. So we either cd to where the file is, or we run secure copy from anywhere using the what? The absolute path of the file. Do you learn that in the Linux video? I tried to explain that in the Linux video that we send out. Okay. So what I'm saying is if I run print working directory, I can copy the whole of this directory as long as is. Okay. And I can cd it to this place and I can say secure copy the file I want to copy /webapp.war. Because I'm not doing it in the directory of this file, I'm using the what? The full path. Okay. So secure copy that to where? Ubuntu at the IP address of Ubuntu at this, followed by what? You see that? Followed by the path where you want to keep it at a destination server. Root, Ubuntu, root, home. I'm not getting so much contribution. Does it mean this is new to us? And you see that 100% it has been what? Has been moved. All right. Don't make life difficult for yourself. See what I did here. You can decide to go into this place. But I'm just showing you these things in case you want to do it from anywhere. You see this here and you list, see your web app. What did you just run your secure copy, web.war, then this part. That's all. If I paste this way, let's go check it first. Can we cd? Can we list? Look at it. Is there? Okay. If I send it again, what will it do? It will simply overwrite one that is there. If I list again, and you see different time zone, sent the first one at 54, the second one at 55. All right. So we have been able to run the secure copy of our artifact from the workstation server to staging server. So the person using virtual machines, you will see that it's really not difficult to do. As long as the two servers are on the internet, establish SSH connection between them using what we just did now, and then run the secure copy. Okay. Now, don't forget, SSH does not use HTTP ports. So you must enable port 80, sorry, port 22 on both virtual machines. Exactly. All right. So look at webapp.war. These are our artifacts. We will now copy it from here into our Tomcat. Okay. Let's go to Tomcat first. Can I clear? So they say cd root opt Apache Tomcat web app. This is where it's coming to. Okay. So play of Linux. I can either copy it from user home, or I can from here as well use my what? My absolute path. Okay. I can say copy dot no root home Ubuntu webapp.war, copy it to this place. Okay. And if I list, look at it, that's copied. Or I can actually go to my user home. Okay, and I'll say copy webapp.war, and I'll give it the full path of this guy. Copy it to this place. Still the same thing. So if I go to this path and I list, our webapp.war is here. Okay. So now, gentlemen, can we attempt to browse for our Tomcat? What do? Look at our QA server. We copy this. Then let's browse for it. On port 88, that's the port that
The same port with Jenkins, right?
yes, but you know it is different server.
Yes, I know, yes, I know.
Okay. We'll
Can we
first
set up
see
the
this
security
one.
group? Okay.
It's the same security script that we are using.
Oh, okay, yes.
It's unreachable. I'm not sure we've started Tomcat, have we? Sorry, we need to start Tomcat. So anyway, we are inside Tomcat here. What do? CD into bin, list. Look at startup.sh. Do you see this? So you run /startup.sh. And you can put start if you like. Okay. So it references your path and it says Tomcat started. Okay. So if I come here now, let me refresh. Oh, beautiful. It says, if you're seeing this, you've successfully installed Tomcat. Congratulations. So if we come here now, and we now add /web app, are we able to reach our application? Look at it. Welcome to mobile greeting app. If you see this in the right place, good luck. So if I put Angela here, and I say show greeting. So this is the app that Lazy ChatGPT wrote for us. This is not a website. Are you aware? This is a web application. Albeit a very simple one. Okay. So we have successfully staged our Java web application. You can play around. If you have ChatGPT, ask it to write for you a complex web application, okay? And you know where to put all the files, do you? Let's go to staging server. CD by one step, list, CD into source, list, CD into main, list, CD into web app, list. Look at where all your files are. So when you compile, it's coming to compile all of this. Your index.jsp, the script, the star.css. Okay. All of that is giving you all of this. See the title, Buban app. Okay. But what we've done is that we have installed, we have staged our application on the bare server. By bare server, I mean directly on the server. And this is where problem used to start between developers and operators. Okay, because I told you at the day one class that if the environment of the developer is not the same as the environment of the operator, there are different environments may interact with the application that has been deployed directly in that environment, and they may cause distortions to the application. So one way to ensure that our application has uniform configuration, irrespective of where we deploy them into, is to containerize the application. So containerize the app means that you are bringing all the environment that the application needs into the container with the environment. So the server environment will not be able to interact directly with the application. So containerization virtualizes software, the system environment, the operating environment that your application needs. Why virtualization technologies virtualizes hardware? Okay? Your Oracle VirtualBox only virtualizes hardware, isn't it? It is the same operating system image that you install on your physical hard disk, on your physical computer. It's the same one you will install on your virtual machine. All right. So what is it now virtualized? The hardware, because you don't need to provision a physical computer to create a virtual machine. But in the case of containerization tool, like Docker, like Vagrant, okay, it is virtualizing the operating system so that the main operating system of the server, the environment of the server, does not interact with the application. So the app within the container is sufficient. It has all it needs to what? To deploy. Okay. So what we will need to do next is to install Docker on our staging server. So our staging server is fast moving from a Tomcat server into a Docker server. And from Docker server, it will move into Ansible server. Okay. So to install Docker on your staging server, the command is simple. All you need to do is to say sudo apt install docker.io. I want to add flag Y to save you stress of answering yes. Tap enter. Now, when you install Jenkins, Jenkins automatically creates a user for you. But in case of Docker, when you install Docker, Docker creates a group for you. So who can tell us on the Linux server, where do you find all the groups? Which file contains all the groups in your Linux server?
Maybe in the
Right?
password as well now.
No, sir. Password file only hold users. Okay. The group file holds what?
Etsy.
Not Etsy, sir.
Get
The group file holds all groups. Can you see?
Get group. Okay.
Do you see the group? This Ubuntu here is the primary group of the Ubuntu user. Look at Docker here and the group ID 123. This is the group ID for Ubuntu. Okay. On Debian package managers, if you want to make a user, a super user, a pseudo user, a sudoer, which group do you add the user to? Anybody know? Or even on Red Hat, what's the name of the group you will add the user to?
Sudo now.
Is it on Red Hat or on Debian? That your sudo now shows you are guessing, sir. All right. So if it is on Debian, distros of Linux on Debian package, it is sudo. Look at it here. See sudo. So Ubuntu is a member of this group. That's why Ubuntu is able to use the sudo privilege. So any user that is a member of this group, okay. But if it were to be a distro of Linux managed by Red Hat RPM, the name of the group is called Wheel, WHEEL, Wheel group. So when you add a user to the Wheel group, that user becomes a sudoer for Linux distros managed by Red Hat. Okay, so for Ubuntu to now be able to use Docker commands, Ubuntu must be a member of this Docker group. Are you with me? Ubuntu must be a member, or any user on this server, it might not just be Ubuntu. Any user on this server that wants to use Docker must be a member of the what? Docker group. So who's going to add Ubuntu to the Docker group now? Where all my beautiful contributors? After lunch, they've gone to drink too much water. They are feeling sleepy. All right, so you say sudo user mode flag AG.
Capital G.
Okay, the name of the group, Docker, the name of the user, Ubuntu.
It's a logo.
Che.
We don't use it so often. That's the reason why.
Welcome to Linux, where you will, welcome to DevOps, where you will use all the commands.
Okay.
And learn more. Okay. So let's confirm now. Can we say get ent group pipe and grep for Docker? So you showed us only Docker because that's what we asked you to grep for, but it's not showing us if Ubuntu. Oh, sorry. I think I'm tired myself. All right, so Ubuntu is not a member of what? Docker. Yes. Who knows what getent does? I've been using it since. It looks as though a magic word. It's not. Get ent means get entry. Manual get ent. It is used to view known database files. Okay. And what it does is anywhere you are on the Linux directory and you use get ent with a known database file, it will cut it for you. Because you know that normally for you to be able to view a file, you are either using the full path of that file or you are in the parent folder of that file. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But you notice that I've been using getEnt from anywhere. I didn't have to get to where group is. Group and password, they are in root etc. I didn't have to get there, but with get entry, so it will not work for just any file. It will only work for what? Known database. And these are the files here.
Okay.
C group, CG shadow, C host, C network, C password. Okay. So if you try with the other file and it's not working, don't sweat it. It means that file, just come and check it. All right.
It's okay.
Get
Fine.
means get entry. So now that we've set up Docker and then we've done this, let's do a simple restart for our server so that we can optimally use Docker. How do you restart? Reboot your server. In it what? What's the run level?
I think it's 6, a bit 6.
Uh-huh.
0 is stop. 6 is 6.
I mean, it's only you do the assignment. Sudo init 6, meaning reboot the server. Nobody has turned in that part of the assignment.
You have sent it to you, sir.
The one you sent to me was just for
You didn't check. I sent you yesterday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I think you need to add me to that WhatsApp. I'm weary of this our Lady Ann's Discord.
Discord.
She's tired herself.
She's secretly as well. She moved to WhatsApp now.
Oh, really?
She has moved on to WhatsApp now, but not that's a kind of alumni WhatsApp, not
oh,
not
okay.
for this
Now, I beg. Technology is not supposed to make life difficult. All right. So if I run Docker PS, I'm now beginning to teach us Docker commands, and this is the assignment for this weekend. How many are we in class? We are 6.
Docker
so you find me 10 Docker commands. Apart from the one I will teach in class today and tomorrow. 10 Docker. You won't just find it. By the time you have set up your own staging server, you will practice all the 10. Now, it looks as simple, just 10. This is what I used to do. Because we are 6 in class, it means you are looking for 60 Docker commands. But why 60, coach? So that if you are the last person to talk in class, if the first 5 persons have mentioned different 10, you will read it out from your own. Because once someone mentioned a Docker command, I will not take it from any other person again. So this is not an assignment you will submit. It's an assignment that you come to class, you will tell me your own Docker command, what it did for you when you practiced it. So to be safe, now you don't know who is going to be the last person by the time I ask us to be discussing Docker commands. So to be safe, why not look for 60 Docker commands apart from the ones we're going to learn in class today and tomorrow? Okay? It's just a simple assignment, you know? Now, when you run Docker PS, you are saying processes. Show me all the Docker processes running.
Running process.
That's PS. But if you want to see all Docker processes either running or not, you add flag what?
A minus A.
A. Okay. If you want to see all the images of Docker, the command you run is Docker images. Now, what are images? You must have heard that containerization is light. Containerization is light. It's not as heavy. That's true. In real sense, when you want to containerize your application, what you are doing is you are bringing the images of the environment that that web application needs into the container. When you do that, you now keep your artifacts in that container as well. So if our web application needs Tomcat, what are we bringing into our container? The real Tomcat or the image of Tomcat? The image of what? Of Tomcat. So depending on which of the containerization tool you are using, each containerization tool have its own registry where they have their own images, or let's call it have its own repo. So for Docker, the repo is what? Docker Hub. So on Docker Hub, you will find a lot of Docker Hub is still the largest hub for images, and that's why it is the most popular containerization tool. Okay, so if I search for Tomcat now, the Tomcat that we installed on our staging server, the image of that Tomcat is this. Okay, so see what we find on Docker: images, extensions, and what? Logins. Are we together? If you stand in front of a mirror, what do you see inside the mirror, gentlemen?
Your image.
Beautiful. Is the size of what you have in the mirror the same size as the you standing? Okay, let me say mass or weight. What's the unit for measuring the human size? I think it's mass. Can you use weight too?
Yes, kilogram, yeah.
Okay. So you know that your image is lighter than you, is that correct?
Yeah, it's lighter, yeah.
So that's the same idea here. Images are what?
Light.
Are light. And that's why we put images inside our what? Container. And images hardly need the full operating environment. The same thing the same thing AWS adopted. Your Linux, they are using the images so that they will manage what? Space. Are we together? Okay. So Docker PS, you want to see Docker processes, Docker containers running, Docker PS flag A, okay. Docker images, you want to see all the images you need, or you run Docker container ls or ll. So we show you container, the list of containers. Okay. So it works more like PS2.
Okay.
Or
Yes.
PS will not only show you for containers, to show you for other things. Okay. We'll see that when we get into Kubernetes, right? There are other things I want to say to you, but I think you've done a lot. We should probably pause here to continue tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll talk about Docker and we'll learn uh, other tools about Docker, how to bring in your container and how to containerize our application after we've gotten all of that. Okay.
Sorry,
Meanwhile,
this artifact now, are we going to bring the containerize it?
this what?
The artifact we got deployed not quite long now. You intend to
Yes,
do okay, containerize as well. Okay.
that's it. This guy, we're going to containerize it.
Okay.
However, remember that we had to manually copy artifacts from workstation server to staging server,
Yeah.
isn't it? And that is anti-DevOps. DevOps says it must be what? Automated
Automated and
and repeatable.
repeatable. Yeah.
Repeatability, that is the continuous this, continuous that. So let's go to Jenkins. We're not even getting to Jenkins today at all. What manner of confidence? So we copy Jenkins. Paste. On what port? 80. So on our Jenkins, what we want to do is we will set up a post build action. Are you kidding me? I'm not sure I remember.
Mobile technologist.
Thank you, sir. I thought I saved it. Ah, thank God. All right. So we are seeing Project Angela after it has built successfully. Why don't we add a post-build action or post-build actions? So just judging by where is configure? Just judging by the name, gentlemen. What do you think post-build action will mean?
Was built. It means that after building it, what component, which is this actions we did manually now with the Tomcat.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. It's as simple as that. Look at it. Post-build action. We are seeing that after you have a successful build, other things we want you to what? To do.
Yeah.
And part of that post-build action is to what? Send build artifacts over what? SSH. It could be email notification, meaning that send email to somewhere that, oh, build has been what? Successful. Okay. If I'm able to bring in the plugins or what's the name of this Slack, I can say send a message to Slack channel that what build has been successful.
Yeah.
It can be delete workspace. This Angela workspace. Once you delete the workspace when it is done, anything. But part of it is what we want to do is send build artifacts over SSH. But before we do that, let's click on it. There is no SSH server. So what do? We will go and add an SSH server. How do we do that? Let's go to dashboard, leave.
No. Hi, please.
What do you say?
I'm saying hi, please. No, nobody's talking. But where's Henry? Okay, Henry.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just
Okay.
I'm trying to I'm trying to be more quiet. So
Okay.
let me let you guys go for it.
All right. So from here, we click on Manage Jenkins. We have to manage Jenkins, right? Let's go to System. Okay. Root var library Jenkins, you're familiar with this? But that's not where we are going. We are coming to SSH. Remember, we added SSH plugin the other time. Do you remember? So we want to use that plugin now. SSH servers. See this? So you click on add. Okay. What do we call the name of our SSH server? Let's call it Mo Staging or QA. The host name is going to be the public IP address of that server, which is this. Okay. The username on that server, Ubuntu. The remote directory on that server, you put a dot, meaning that keep it in the user home of Ubuntu user. Okay. Be careful of this case. In Linux, this Ubuntu is different from this Ubuntu. So please take note. Next, we click on Advanced. Okay. What do we want to do here? We want to authenticate that Jenkins is able to SSH into Ubuntu on this server. So please pay attention now. Before, what we normally do is use password, and we will just put that Ubuntu server password here. And then we run test configuration, but it no longer work. Okay. So what do we do instead is we use key, or we use path to key. Either I copy and paste the key, or I use path to key. Which key? Now, listen carefully, gentlemen. Whenever you are working with Jenkins, whenever you're asking Jenkins to do things from the GUI, what you are doing is that you are sending the Jenkins user on this workstation server errand to do things for you. Remember, we were told that when you successfully install and configure Jenkins, the user is what? Created. So whatever you're asking Jenkins to do here from this place, you're actually saying the Jenkins user here should do all of that. And that is why when you build your project, the Jenkins user here will go to your remote repo, if that's where you have your source code, and make a local copy. It will clone that remote repo into its own local file, Jenkins file. Okay. So when we are saying we want Jenkins here to SSH, okay, it says we cannot use this. Let me use. So it says that when we want to, now that we are setting up SSH server, what we are saying is part of the post build action. We are saying the Jenkins user here should SSH into Ubuntu user on this server. If you're going to process that information, what that means is establish SSH connection between the Jenkins user on your workstation server and Ubuntu on your staging server. You know, when we were going to do it manually, we established SSH connection between Ubuntu user here and Ubuntu user here. Is it making sense? Hello, everyone. Is it making sense? So what do we do? CD. Let's put password on the Jenkins user here. So we say sudo. I think we've done that. We've put password on Jenkins, isn't it?
Yes, we've done that.
So let's go to Jenkins now. So we say switch user to Jenkins, and we put password. Oh. All right, so CD take us to the user home of Jenkins. ls flag L. Good. The next thing we do here is to what? The same thing we did for Ubuntu. We create what? Generate key pair.
Yeah.
But this user does not have that SSH directory. So let's create it first. We say make directory .ssh so it can be hidden. So we'll do what? CD into .ssh. Let me clear. So inside here now we are going to generate key pair. So we say SSH keygen. See where it is saving it for us. Good. So if I list now, I should have the two key pair. So what do I do? I'm going to cut the public one and copy it.
Okay.
When I copy it, I come to staging server. I cd into .ssh. I vi authorized keys. And then
Paste it here.
I paste it here. So what we are doing now is we are making
So can I ask a question?
right, sir.
Okay. I want to ask for clarification's sake. If I put
Yes,
a hash and maybe Here now, put the hash and put the, maybe this is a key from so here. Will it work?
Of course, yes. Because
Okay,
you've commented it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Authority sake, okay.
All right, sir.
Okay, thanks.
So now that we've done that, can we now try the SSH? So we'll say SSH Ubuntu at the IP address of the destination server. Okay, so you answer yes. And you see, Jenkins is able to SSH here. So let's exit, return back to Jenkins. So what do we now copy? ls flag L. I run print working directory. I need this, right? So let me show you. I'll copy this. And in the path, I'll paste this / what? ID underscore RSA. Okay. And if I test, let's test, you see that success. So it means that Jenkins is now able to what? SSH into this server. So it works. So that you put this guy, which is save, or you had code things. How do you add code? You say cat ID underscore RSA. Look at the entire guy. So I'm coming here. So copy all of this and then paste it here. If I remove this and I still test, it will still work. But if you're not the only one that have access to your Jenkins, it therefore means this guy here now. What do you do?
Separate.
Use path. Okay. Use path. Test configuration. So what have we done? We have created an SSH server to be saved. You apply and save. Okay. If you have done that, you can now go ahead and go set up a post build action, which is going to be on our project Angola. Okay. So I come to configure. Taking too long. Post build actions. Add post build actions. Send build artifact over SSH. So can you see that now that we've added, we now have an SSH server here. You can have more than one. Okay. The source of the file. We have the source of our file. Can I open this guy in the new tab? Let me quickly show you. Do you have any question? Anyone? We are already in Project Angela here. If you click on Workspace, this is becoming annoyingly slow. What does that mean? Okay, so we are in Workspace. We'll click on Web App. Where will it be in Web App here? Target, right? Target. Okay. Have you seen our file? Look at it. So the source file will be what? Build Angular slash web app slash target slash what? Slash this. Okay. So if I copy all of this, I come here, source file, remove all of this. Remove this and put what here? Web app.
Web app var. Wow, okay.
Okay. But you know that we are already inside Project Angela. So then we don't need this because we are already there. Okay. And you see that there was a red caution here. But then when I remove it, the caution went out. Okay. Because if there's something here, it will tell you I can't find what is inside in this place. So this says we should remove the prefix. So if we remove the prefix, it's just going to be what? Web app target. This is the suffix. This is the prefix. Okay. Remote directory. Just a single dot. Say keep it in the user home. Okay. Exec command. Command to execute. Okay. So what do you want to do with the exec command? Remember when we did the secure copy manually, it took it to the user home of the user on the destination server. From there, we now use another command to copy it into Tomcat, isn't it? Do you remember? So we can now put that command here. So I can say something like sudo copy dot web app dot war. That means copy this file from the current directory, this guy here. I will know what this current directory is, don't we? Okay. Copy it to where? Root. Oops, let's go and copy the path. cd opt apache web app print working directory. Remember, we copied it into this place from where? It should be shift copy. We copy this guy. How did it get here? Secure copy from workstation to this. Then from here, we copied it to where? Inside this place. So we want to put that command here. Secure copy is the copy over SSH to the user home of the destination server, this guy here. Then when it gets here, do a what? Copy of that file, which is in the user home, copy it to this place. That's all. So we apply and we save. Next thing we do is we test if it is working. How do we test that? Let's come to our staging server. Can we first remove this one? So we say remove the web.war. We will list nothing here again. Can we cd into this place and list? Let's remove this also. We list nothing here again. Let's go to user home. Let's also confirm. Can we browse for our application? It should not be reachable anymore. Why? Because we've removed the artifact. Now let's build to test what we've done. Build now. So this building, we not only build, after it has built, it will perform some post-build actions, which is to what? Copy the build artifact to the SSH server that we added. And then when it gets to the user home of the user on that server, copy it into the directory we specify for you. Let's click on console output just to see how things are going with our build. Any question? Okay.
Sorry, sir. How
Transfer.
will
Go ahead, sir.
I said, how will a potential employer ask question around this place now? If they ask the question.
Oh, that's a very good question. So I might ask you, share with me your experience with Maven. Right? That's how a smart technical person starts. The person will not tell you what's the command for Maven build. Share with me your experience. That means I want you to tell me a story. If you are truly someone that has been using it, your story will be sweet because you know it.
Yes.
Right? If you are a YouTuber, your story will also reveal it. That's what you have gone to do, is to watch a YouTube video. So you say, okay, well, after I've successfully integrated Jenkins on my workstation, okay, I added, I declare variable so that Jenkins can know where to find my building tool, which is Maven. Then I set up, either you are using a GUI pipeline or you're using pipeline script. Okay. So let's say you're using a GUI pipeline. Set up a post build. I've talked about how the building is. I want to go straight to when you ask me. Set up a post build action. Okay. So first I had to add SSH server so that Jenkins will be able to authorize if the SSH server is accessible. Okay. And I return to my project, set up a post build action. Okay. I ask Jenkins to publish the artifact after a successful build to the SSH server. Okay. So from the story you are telling, I'm picking other questions. I now ask you something like, okay, so did you do any backend configuration to ensure that Jenkins is able to secure copy? Or I might ask you, what service of Linux did you use to set up connection between Jenkins and your staging server? SSH, secure shell. So I'd ask you, did you do any backend? Okay, so I'm trying to bring out things I expect that you would have done, okay, which you may not have talked about, but I want you to talk about it just to be sure you actually did it. All right. So interview these days are more like when they ask you, tell us one project you successfully completed and your role within the team. Okay. They can know a lot of things from that story. Yeah. Okay. So this is a success. First, we can do a general check by just refreshing here. If we refresh here and we're able to access our app, okay, let's check again. So we know there's a problem. Okay. So let's come and begin to do a check. Let's go to the user home first and list. So we confirm that, we deleted this. So we confirm that post build action to copy it here worked. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So now let's cd into root opt Apache Tomcat web app. Can we list? We confirm that this guy go here as well. So why are we now unable to browse for it? Let's confirm if Tomcat here is running. So we say list. Go back by one step. List. cd bin list dot startup status. Tomcat is started. Okay. So let's just start first with this. Yeah, Tomcat is reachable. How about our web app then? Oh, it is reachable as well. So yeah, that means our post build action worked. Okay. So what we did manually, having to do a secure copy, we've now integrated it into what? Into our project on Jenkins. Okay. So when we build, we will not have to come here to now begin to do secure copy. Once the build is successful, it will publish the artifact to the defined SSH server. Okay. So I think we should pause here for us to continue tomorrow.
But I'm so surprised you didn't do much when you just checked until worked out again. What was it? What was the delay? What was the delay coming up?
Well, I don't know
Maybe the
myself, but at times it could be network because
network.
Jenkins has actually been slow. You know, I've been
Okay.
complaining since that it is slow.
Oh, okay.
And I told us in our last class, if anybody remember, or if anybody has watched that video, that if your
Yes.
network is not good, Jenkins will make you panic. All right.
Well, quite lengthy, man.
Any question? All right. If there are no questions, I think we are good to go. So I'll see us tomorrow the same time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Goodbye.
Good night.